didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it.
There's a lot of people that are praying for, God to open up their womb and for God to be able to give them a spouse that loves them and treats them the right way.
This is some stuff, if you say you talk to your therapist about it, that's a private setting. Why are you airing out conversations that you have in private on media? Because it gives like clout chasing.
Just because this man has all this money and all this fame and all this acclaim doesn't mean that there's not hardship attached to marriage.
She sounds like she's bleeding. We know our identity is found in Christ. You got to go to God for that. I understand your life may not look the way that you thought it would look, but did you think that maybe your life looks the way that he originally designed for you to look?
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals, and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
It's so hard also to be the woman in a situation where you're like, men just don't get as much scrutiny. Like they can maybe tell him like your shots suck tonight, but like the looks and all of that is just like not a factor of conversation as much.
No.
Did you talk to Steph about it? Like, or did you kind of keep it within yourself so it didn't?
I do not have a bone in my body that can keep anything to myself. So if it comes to mind, it's coming out. And he's so gracious. Like he tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm not home, like, did you experience that?
I still experience that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
That's crazy. I never would have thought that she would have said that on a podcast. Yeah, because
that's her truth. She's telling her truth.
You tell your truth, but you already got the kids. You already got the kids. I mean, I wouldn't want to know, I wouldn't want to, like, okay, my dad was just like, hey, after we had your sister, we were cool, and you came along. I was like, dang, I wasn't even planning, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, want me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm being funny, obviously, because my dad loved me, like he never would have probably said he didn't want a son. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, man, to me, it sounds, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm not in the right place to make those comments because I don't know her that well to say that. But if it were my sister, I'd be like, man, sister, you sound like you're coming from a place of privilege because you have a lot of things right now that a lot of people would want. And there's a lot of people that are praying for, God to open up their womb and for God to be able to give them a spouse that loves them and treats them the right way. And, you kind of hit the lottery when you did that. So it's like...
You hit the lottery.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, Steph's not a dude that's walking all over her and you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to...
treated her
Yeah.
Embarrassing her.
Yeah. But, I mean, and then, is a man of God, you know, a self-proclaimed man of God or whatever that he says he is. And so it's just like, well, he's got godly principles in his heart that he's trying to steward his family over. And you're kind of like, you know, dissing that.
Yeah, I don't never try to speak from a woman perspective.
Yeah.
I've never been a woman and never will be. You gotta say that these days.
Make that clear.
It's weird times. You know what I'm saying? I can understand what she's saying. She had plans for her life and she had these ambitions and these goals. And now, you know, when you become a parent, you know, a lot of those things become secondary and you have to try to figure things out and all that kind of stuff. And I respect it. I get it. Life happens sometimes in a way we unexpect. But there's two things. One, this is some stuff. If you say you talk to your therapist about it, that's a private setting. Why are you airing out conversations that you have in private on media? Because it gives like clout chasing.
Yeah.
Two, I missed the part where Steph put a gun to her head and said, "Marry me or else." You know what I'm saying? Like, you had the option to live the life that you wanted to live. If being with Steph was not didn't present you the life that you wanted, you could have just said, "Hey, you're a great guy." People do it every day. You're a great guy. I think you're going to be successful. You got a lot of good things going for you. But for me, I want to be this businesswoman. I want to be this career girl. I want to do this. You had the option to do that. But it's just me just speculating. He happens to be the best shooter to ever pick up a basketball. He's a millionaire. He has a pretty good life. You know what I'm saying?
Hit the lottery.
And it's like, at that point, you got to make a business decision. Do I go with the guy who's in love with me, who can secure me and have me a good future, we can have a family, or do I just take my chances and pursue the things that I want to pursue? Some people will say, you know what, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do what I want to do. Or some folks say, I'm going to get married or whatever. So it's like, now that you've made that choice, and I understand that you may have a few regrets here and there about the way some things went, don't come out every time you pick up a microphone and make your husband look crazy about the stuff that comes out of your mouth. She was just on another interview. A man came in with no shirt. She acting like she taking her wedding ring off and doing all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's giving like Jada Pinkett 2.0. You know what
I
I'm saying?
was just thinking that, Plain. I
yeah.
was just thinking that, but I was like, oh no.
She's Jada Pinkett 2.0. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's really just embarrassing and it's shameful. And it's like, if you have these emotions, cool. Like, talk to them with your therapist. Don't come online, because now it's like, you're doing whatever you got to do to be recognized, to be seen, because it's something inside of you that just wants this platform to be recognized. You're not cool with just your husband being the one that people recognize and you're his wife. And you can have your own identity. You can have your own
great
thing.
chef.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought she had
got
successful
cookware.
businesses
Yeah,
too.
like
Like, what?
win. Like you in a position to win. He didn't say you can't do nothing, and he can't tell you that no way. But you you can do whatever you want to do. You're literally a millionaire with a platform where people subscribe to whatever you say and do. So that same platform that you have to do whatever you say and do something constructive instead of tear your husband down every time you pick up a microphone.
Tyler Perry called Steph Curry.
I've yet to find
I'm gonna tell you why.
a goal. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would say this. I mean, cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I said Tyler Perry called Steph Curry because, like, okay, so I did some research. She was doing acting. I think deep down, she was an actress before they got together. Like, and I saw like a video of stuff where she was acting and stuff. So I think the thing is this. I think she always thought, and this is just my assumption based off what she said before, that she was going to be the big dog, where she was going to be an actress, where she was going, people going to come to her and say, "Hey, Ayesha, can I get your autograph?" And he was going to be,
do that.
yeah, she can. That's why I'm
She
saying.
still is that.
Tyler Perry or Steph Curry call each other so you can get your wife in a film, because that's what she wants. She wants, because even also too, remember that saying she did talk to Jada on the red table talk and was like, "Hey man, why don't no men come to me and talk to me? Why I feel like I remember
I'm
saying
jealous
that
people don't slide in my DMs.
Yeah,
or
I remember that.
yeah, a little bit. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so maybe the acting world, you're used to getting attention being an actress.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what she, like you said, she has books, she has cookware. She's a chef. She has her own restaurant. So for some people looking in, it's like, you got a lot. Why are you not content?
Exactly.
But for her, she may want to act. She may want to get back into acting.
They can be the Beyonce and the Jay if they want to, where people are equally looking at them like, man, you got this and you did that and
Stop
you got this hit
embarrassing
song
your
and that
husband
hit
on
song.
podcasts and go act then.
Do
Like,
that
for real.
be in the movie. If you got time to sit down to these folks and talk and take rings off and do all this stuff, you got time to go act. Go act. You acting Anyway, I'm about to say another thing, but you acting anyway.
I have yet
do get paid for it at least.
Me and my wife have yet to run across a career goal that we can't manage with 4 kids. But I will tell you this. Nothing ties me down more in my life than this show.
Yeah.
Because I can't go to L.A. I can't pick up and move to wherever a job wants me to go because I'm committed to doing this for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like you make your decisions and you live with it. You had kids. Be happy about that and live with it. First of all, also, they're going to grow up.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to figure things out in whatever direction you want to go in. But here's the thing. Like James said, you already are in a position to where you can utilize whatever you want to get whatever career goal you want. You can call any industry. You can call any person to get to that point if you want to be there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vera.
Oh, go ahead.
I have thoughts. Okay, for starters, I think what I was hearing her communicate, it sounds like cognitive dissonance. And it sounds like you thought your life would be away. And perhaps she did choose to marry the man she loved, right? Like she thought that was a good decision. But that doesn't mean that like she's not having to grapple with the hard realities of what came with that she didn't anticipate. And just because this man has all this money and all this fame and all this acclaim doesn't mean that there's not hardship attached to marriage. Like being a wife comes with its own responsibilities and difficulties. Being a mother comes with its own hardships and difficulties. And so I think something I've been thinking about as of late is like what comes with the weightiness? Like what is the weightiness of being a wife? And how can I prepare for that, right? Because sometimes if you're just looking at it from an aesthetic perspective, it's like, oh, she looks good. She has all the things. She has the man. But you don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors. You don't know what she's dealing with. You don't know what her kids are dealing with. And so it's just like there's so many other elements that come with being married that you don't necessarily get with being single. And I'm sure there's additional weightiness that comes with them being like him being famous that we just aren't aware of, right? I'm not saying it's okay for her to disrespect her husband. I am not for that at all. But I do think that perhaps this has just been difficult for her to navigate. If she feels like she lost her identity, you know what I mean? In some sense, she's like the things that I used to associate with myself, maybe I no longer identify with, and I'm trying to figure that out. That's a common thing that I feel like I've heard from women who become mothers. And she got multiple children. You know what I mean? So that's a lot.
But when you're in it, you're in it.
But it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel things.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that you're not going to wrestle with the
But I'm not going to get on a podcast and start talking about how being a father has weighed me down from not being able to X, Y, Z. And you know, it's pointless to do that because you have the kids, you have the husband, you have the life. It's pointless to get out there.
I can feel what she's saying. Like I get it. Like I said, I'm not a woman. I try to speak to the best of my ability. I'm not a woman, so I can't really connect totally with the woman's emotion. I can just give my opinion. That's what we do on here. But it's just like I wouldn't share that. I wouldn't share those thoughts on a huge platform like that because now I can speak from a man perspective. A man, especially when you feel like the woman has a role in the household, she's a mother. A man would never know how it feels to be a mother, like a woman would never know how it feels to be a father. She has a role that needs to be respected and valued. But a man who feels like he's going out there, he's a breadwinner, he's taking care of his family, putting his family in a place to succeed and thrive and have all these opportunities, when he's doing those type of things and all he hears is disrespect or I wish it could be different or I don't like this, it makes you feel undervalued and it makes you feel unappreciated as a man. So it's like, now, we're going to have these real kind of conversations. We can have it behind the scenes, but when you go on every platform and you're doing the kind of gesture and the thing that she's doing, from a man perspective, that makes you feel some kind of way. Yeah. So I'm not saying his feelings are more important than hers, but the public platform is not the place for those kind of discussions. Your therapist or someone you really can trust and confide in behind the scenes is a place for that kind of conversation. I personally feel like.
One thing my mama said to me was like, if you got to talk, you got to vent, that's understandable. That's a human component, especially among us women, we're yappers. You know, we bond by getting together and talking. It helps us live longer, right? But if you're talking to 3 or more people, you want attention. And I said, ooh, that was something to swallow. So now if I keep finding myself bringing up things, it's like, okay, what's the root behind this? And she sounds like she's bleeding. You feel like you lost your identity. Okay, you're a believer. we know our identity is found in Christ. You got to go to God for that. I understand your life may not look the way that you thought it would look, but did you think that maybe your life looks the way that he originally designed for you to look? So it's like, I understand you didn't expect to have these things. And then also it sounds like you bought into the feminism dream. And ironically, I was just talking to my uncle about this. It lied to us. It failed us because, baby, all of these working women out here, I love being career motivated. I love this, but I am tired.
I'm exhausted.
I am exhausted. I would love to be retired.
It is
exhausted.
And cook from scratch and make cookbooks, baby. I would love to do that. I love to bake.
Garden.
For that being, baby, what you did today, I made a brownie from a distinct potato today. I just wanted to, listen, you can make brownies from sweet potatoes.
You sure can. My wife
And
does
add
a good
protein
job
to
at doing
them.
that.
And makes,
Yeah.
that's my new thing. I love
Yeah, my wife does that.
configuring these things and still making it taste good but be good for you. So it's like, girl, you are living a dream right now. But anyway, that's the importance of living with purpose. You can't just be living. You're going to be drugged. And it looks she's drugged and she's bleeding on anyone who will listen. So it's like, I just really encourage her to really just tackle in, go to the Lord, figure out what his steps are for you right now. Because even 1 Timothy 6:6 came to me. Godliness with contentment is great gain. And you're going to continue to bleed until you find contentment. And one thing that I really love with Paul, he was like, in all things, he was good, whether he had a lot, whether he didn't, whether he had all his bread or whether he had crumbs. Like understanding that with God, I have everything. I understand you got millions, but you can't even see the opportunity. Like Plain James is saying before you, like you got the money to sponsor your own cooking show and sell it to Food Network. Or the different things that you can do. You can partner with Tyler Perry. Yeah. You can fund a movie.
You can call anybody you want to call.
Anybody you want to call. You can produce your own movies, baby, that you starting to.
Rolodex.
But you can't see that because you wallowing into, oh, this is not what I want. But you don't, and you compete with your husband because you want to be the star of the show. But it's not, and you want male attention, baby. That's the worst thing that you.
And then the other thing that's really scary about this is children can turn on you and your spouse can leave you. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you really want to chase this dream, but you give up a lot. You give up a lot. So that's it's scary to me. It's scary.
I just wanted to add a little additional nugget, a slightly different perspective. I agree with what you're saying. I do think though that it is beneficial to hear perspectives from women who seemingly have it all. Hearing Michelle Obama talk about the difficulty of what it was to navigate being married to Barack is sobering to hear, because I think it gets to the root of like, we can't find our contentment or our wholeness or like just our complete joy in a man, like in a marriage, in a position. And so it puts me in check. You know, like as a single woman preparing, I'm like, okay, you know, you got all these things, but it's still not giving you what you were after or what you expected. Like there was this like surprise when you came upon, you know what I mean, these realities. And so how can I prepare myself for that and be aware that regardless of what it looks like, it might not be everything that you expect it to be.
I think it's
and it may not supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Shania talked about this a few episodes about, like, people are going to fail you, and that's how it's supposed to be set up. You know what I mean? So how can we then prepare our hearts for the fact that, like, your husband is not going to fulfill your every need. Your children are not going to fulfill your every need. How can you learn how to be okay, take care of yourself with God, first and foremost, but also with, you know, mental health and all these other components to make sure that you're well first so that you're not pouring from an empty place. But I think it's important for us to know that when we have, like, even when you've accumulated all this wealth, all is vanity. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with us being made aware of that fact.
Just think it's dangerous. I think the part that this scares me is that people are going to use her example as a deterrent for themselves. I know somebody who's like, I'm not getting married because my parents had a terrible marriage in front of me. And it's like, well, but you don't know. The whole idea is that you might be the one to get it right. You know, I come from a family where everybody is divorced, but I still was committed to saying, if I find a wife, I'm going to make sure that we do everything we can to keep it together. You know what I mean? So I wasn't afraid to try it just because I saw everybody around me was divorced, including my parents. But it was almost like if I listened to people on the internet, if I listened to people in bad marriages tell me that, hey, it's going to be bad when you get here, then I wouldn't have tried. And I think that's the scary part to me, is that when people are on the internet, they hear other people talking about their woes, and then it makes them afraid to try.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think we can be prayerful and also trust that, like, the Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And one person's voice, hopefully, will not be the thing that jacks a person's life up.
And I'll
You know
say
what I
this too. Like, last thing was, like, last night I was going through something. I told you that my laptop crashed, and I had some other things happening this week where I was just like, man, I'm feeling down. And last night my son got into my bed and my daughter got into my bed, and they just nuzzled next to me. And I looked up at the sky and I said, God, I feel more successful now than any point in my day, any point in my week, because they're here to love me and I'm here to love them by your design. And that's all that mattered at the end of the night, you know. I went to bed with a smile on my face. And so to me, it's like one of those things where you find your peace where you are. You find it in what you have in front of you. And you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel in your mind when you're already there. I can't go back and undo my kids. I would never want anything to happen to my kids. But there are hard times my wife and I face. I mean, homework is enough. By the time 8 o'clock rolls around, we like, go to bed, because it's over. Like, our minds are done. So, yeah. So, I just hope that Steph won't take this to heart and the kids won't take this to heart when they look back one day and they start going, am I really?
I hope and pray that she just goes to God and gives God her
There
first
you go.
expressions
Yep.
too.
Amen.
Like, go to God
Yeah.
first about
Yep.
these things,
Yeah.
not anybody else. Just go to the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
I need to end with a poll.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you think about Ayesha's statement on not wanting kids and sharing this publicly? 26% says I feel her on that. 37% now says why is she sharing this publicly. 17% says might be having a midlife crisis, and 20% says she needs therapy, contentment.
You know what would be helpful with the polls? If we knew where everybody's status was. Because there could be single folks, there could be divorced folks, there could be married folks giving their own kind of like projection. And that would be interesting to know, like, how many of the 26% that said I feel her on that are single or married or divorced or whatever. Because I think that I don't trust polls. I really don't. All right, here we go.
Man, shout out
Politics
to
jacked you up.
Shout out to Crispy
Shout
on
out
the
to
poll.
Crispy on the
Yeah.
polls.
They're funny. They're hilarious.